What is up? Hello, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. It's been an absolutely crazy week already. We're only 6 days into 2026, and there's been manager firings, manager hirings, new faces to find, maybe old faces back in the fold at Flood Trafford. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might just be back at the wheel. We got lots of games to get through. They're coming thick and fast. Chelsea win 1-1 at the Etihad. And of course, Arsenal, Liverpool to take a look at on Thursday as well. But before we get to all of that, go ahead and smash up the likes. Of course, thanks for being here. Hype it up if you got any of those left. Subscribe if you are new. And we want to know what you're thinking about all this manager madness down in the comments section below. And of course, my man Nez in the building for the Cup Chasers podcast this evening. How you doing?
What's up, man? I'm doing better than the Man City backline. I'll put it like
Yeah, I bet, because it's a dire situation there. But of course, we're gonna get to all of that. I want to start out tonight with all of this manager madness. Of course, I've been making a few shorts on it. You'll notice some new stuff on the channel, and been looking at something that I think it's a bygone era. I think we've lost an era. Maybe not lost it. It's just kind of gone. I want to paint you a picture. Let's think about Sir Alex Ferguson. Let's think about Arsene Wenger and how they did everything. Literally everything. Every role, every aspect, every detail, down to, making sure that the U17s were playing the same way as the first team was, down to what transfers are coming in, who's not coming in. And I think that I would say Pep Guardiola is kind of the transition between the eras. But my question is the old way gone, where the manager has control of every aspect, and now we've moved into this world of sporting directors and people who are doing the transfers, and then someone else is doing this aspect of the business, and someone else is negotiating with agents, and someone else is doing this, and so it's like a whole team of people, i.e. Blueco or Ineos.
I think the short answer is yes. I think the long answer is because kind of with the names that you've mentioned, there are no managers that have established themselves as like that guy in this current era of managers. And because that is indeed the case, the ownership, the boards and the sporting directors have recognized that longevity is most likely on their side as opposed to the side of the manager. Because if you play systems, then does it really matter, who the guy is? And the thing is that I'd actually liken it to Real Madrid. They are Real Madrid, and I think teams are sort of on the case of uh the badge is the brand. And so this is the style of football we play, and this is who we are. So it's either, you do what we say or we get rid of you, regardless of your results. Because let's use Xabi Alonso as the example. He clearly won. He clearly has a style. He clearly has a management method. And there's rumors, and yes, it's Madrid, so you have to win. But there are rumors that they want him gone, even though Madrid is dealing with their own things with the composition of the team, and this manager just has to figure it out, right? Like Kylian Mbappe is not a striker. Vinny has an ego and he clearly believes he's better than Mbappe, which I don't have an issue with that because as a player, you should think you're the best, right? And,
Absolutely.
and then you have other egos there that the manager has to manage, and that's what they bring the manager in for. But the tactics are on the coaches, right? And Amarin over at United kind of alluded to that, where he's like, "I'm here to manage. I'm not here to coach." And then if you think about Man City, which you brought Pep up, they brought a second Pep in to change philosophy, which I think Pep was smart for that because sort of in the American football, there was an analogy. I forget who said it, but I heard it today when the John Harbaugh of the Baltimore Ravens was fired, and somebody made the comment. It was Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh, the 49ers, architect of West Coast offense and all that stuff, said after 10 years, you have to start mixing stuff up because the voice becomes dull. And it doesn't matter if you still have it. The structure and the systems have to change. And sometimes they have to be significant changes. Or what happens is you, as the leader, miss, and you have holes. And so your point is important because I think ownership is seeing that. Because while Sir Alex Ferguson, I would argue, is one of the best managers ever to do it, I'm not a Mount Rushmore guy because I think there's always more than four, right? So he's one of the best to ever do it. And with that sort of being the case, I would say that people have learned that it's important that if we put everything on that guy, then we have a giant problem. And it's closer to the brand of like what you've talked about, the Liverpools, the Real Madrids. We are whatever this brand is. And yes, we do want a good manager, but we also want a manager that's going to win and elevate our brand. If you're just still less than that, then we don't know if we want you. So yes, I think long story, it's about the sporting directors and the boards, which is why Chelsea is doing what they're doing. Because last week or 2 weeks ago, I said, hey man, they still win stuff. So here's the funny thing about Chelsea, right? Like Chelsea looks crazy discombobulated, but players still go there, players still get paid there, and they still win trophies. So if I'm the Chelsea's board or I'm the ownership, I mean, outside of the musical chairs that existed before, what's different? We still win. And if that is indeed the case, then we have gone past. There's no more Jose's. There's no more Carlos. Those we're done with that. That's not going to happen anymore. And even if they start to ascend, they'll get fired before they get there.
But following up to that, looking at the best teams in the league, you and I seem to have the long-term manager and have found the success with a guy who's been there. And yes, before people come for me, Arsenal have yet to really find the success, but Arteta has definitely in his tenure taken us from piss poor to damn close again, you know what I mean? And so the question is, is this necessarily a good thing? Because, the best teams in the world, think about it. If you look at Arsenal's team right now, our average age is like 25. Saliba's 26, Gabriel's 26, Saka's 24. You know what I mean? And so these guys have already been together for a while, and then they're going to be together for a while. Plus, the manager is going to be there, for another 3 years or whatever. So total, that's going to, be. My argument is just that having the same structure, the same people there year in and year out, which is what we thought that Chelsea were kind of building with their core of Cucurella and James and Caicedo, and they were trying to maybe build it up to where they were there. But I don't know. It's interesting because they've kind of gotten away from that model. Are you frozen?
No, I'm listening.
I thought you were frozen.
Hey, salute to Michael. Muchas gracias por todo. See, but I think that it's like it's the point that I think Chelsea still has a core, right? I just think they've defined what their core is, and then they say everything around that is kind of expendable. Because I still would say the core of that team is everybody you said, and I don't know if you mentioned Caicedo, but I would throw Caicedo in there, and then I would say that's it. If they can find like a striker or like and Cole, I would say Cole is probably a part of that core too. Outside of that, everybody else is expendable. They don't care.
But the
And
point the point is that Rossignol is not going to like have any say in it, is he?
no. Well, it's because of I think you said it. We've had an episode somewhere before where the inmates run the asylum. Man, this is a players' league game, etc. It's. I mean, like NFL football is not like that, but NBA basketball is absolutely run by players. Baseball is largely run by players, and football is run by players. I mean, even if you want to come to the United States with MLS, sí, sí, mi gente, muchas gracias. It's interesting because Messi came to the MLS and did exactly what he did. And they said, hey, the players drive the revenue, which is true. The players do drive the revenue. So I'm not going to hate on that. For example, speaking of Colombia, like James Rodriguez I think he plays for Columbus Crew now. He is in the MLS.
Oh, I did see that actually. Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you look at him, that's, I'm sort of ballparking, but that's definitely below what James Rodriguez is, right?
Well, he's like 37 though.
He's not. He's like in his early 30s, man. Like he's
no way.
Like, yeah, man. Hold up, I'm gonna pull up James's age. Right,
he's not old. I guess when he like kind of faded from European football, I kind of just figured he retired.
Well, no, but it was an injury thing, and he's 34.
Okay,
he is 34 years old,
so not that old.
And well, the thing is like his body has failed him, but like when he puts on that Colombia jersey, that's a different thing. That's a different thing. And
I mean, is he going to be at the World Cup?
Oh, for sure he'll be there. I think he's the captain. He's gonna.
There you go. I didn't. Yeah,
I think there you go. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be there. Like just like for example, like a quick aside, like John Stones. They're talking about John Stones. Mm-hmm. We'll get to the City thing.
We'll get to City for sure.
And John Stones is almost guaranteed to play in England, and he has not played a game. There's no way that name a center half that's gonna when he's fit and he only has to play 8 games. John Stones will be available for 8 games.
I mean, Mark Guehi is the
who plays next to him,
right? The man of the hour right now.
Yeah, but Guehi plays next to him. That's the pairing. That's the pairing. So I'm just being honest. It's crazy. But Sarah has to write in Spanish because actually a real quick aside. So Michael here had just released a song. It's a fantastic song. It's a hit in Colombia. Absolutely amazing song. It's a reggaeton song, and I gotta find it. If I can find the link, I'll drop it in the link here.
Drop it in the comments if you can find it. Yeah,
it's for sure. It's a banger. I'm proud of the work he's done. And I share it every chance I can. But
that's what's up.
He plays ball. He plays soccer. When I was over in Colombia, he was playing ball. I went to go see him and some other guys I know play ball. But the point being is the inmates run the asylum because people buy jerseys, and if you can find a good sporting director who knows how to put the parts there, then you're kind of fine, And so I look and I say, I think a shout out to has Lauren done new stories? Because Lauren's legend stories are always amazing. Has she put out new stories? I don't know if she has.
Not in a while.
Well, I need Lauren to put some stories out because reality kind of sucks. So we would love for some other stuff to be out there outside of reality, right? But I think Arsenal, as you mentioned, and City have an allegiance to sort of a way. But if we actually Arsenal, I would say more so than City for the following reason: Pep is Pep, right? One of the greatest to do it, probably on the tail end, not because he can't do it, but he just wants to kind of shut it down. He's going to be gone in either a year or two, probably 2 years. And we're seeing the remnants of the sporting director molding what's happening more so than the manager. The manager has influence because he's that guy, but the sporting director is doing that. So, for example, I think some of the purchases are coming in, and that's largely from the new guy. And so I
Yeah.
think the way City is run very much like the old Barcelona, not the whatever they do now
Not
there.
whatever it is now. Yeah.
I think it's about the boardroom. So I think that's more important than the other things. Not, but the thing is, like, for example, Arteta's young for a manager. He's super young.
Oh
So
yeah.
like Arteta's not even close to his prime.
No.
So because he's not close to his prime as a manager, and he hasn't shown like he's not a yes man, but he doesn't necessarily fight with them, right? They
Well, I
love
think Josh Kroenke is the yes man. He's the one that's like less. Arteta has the power
right.
in the
But
situation.
I think if there's a pushback, I don't think Arteta will pick his battles with them because they
Yeah.
know largely they'll give him what he needs, and
Sure.
the core is mostly what he's created. So I don't think there's a reason to fight with them, right?
Right.
So like, because for last 3 seasons we've talked about you all not having a striker, and we're like, are they not giving them strikers, or is that him, right? And maybe 50% here,
Left up to
50% there.
opinion in that one. Yeah.
Right. And so as I look at that, I say that's part of the reason that there's that synergy where Arteta gets along with it, because I think that's why they're able to establish it. It's just beneficial that he's a guy that's an Arsenal guy. I feel
Yeah.
like if he wasn't an Arsenal guy, I don't think that exists. And I'm being 1,000% honest. I think if he wasn't an Arsenal guy, I don't think they do the same thing. I think because he's a gooner in his blood, that it makes that a little bit easier, because it's about the badge on him, so they don't have to sell him on that.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely interesting. That's an interesting point, that maybe somebody else wouldn't be there that long, and that's probably been his saving grace at some of the low moments. And also, as far as Pep's concerned, I think Pep has just been the most adaptable, I think, to the times. As the game has changed, I think he's kind of been a little bit ahead of the curve when it comes to making the things work that have changed as the game has evolved and different things. Get a little back and forth going here. That's awesome. But yeah, I think that if you look at what Chelsea are doing right now, they've put the example out with Tuchel and Pochettino, and even with Potter, almost, that it's if you say anything, if you say a word against them, gone. And now a lot's come out, of course, that Maresca was saying this and doing that or whatever. And I think it's a huge smear campaign, honestly, from Blueco, just trying to save face or whatever. But, when a group like that draws the line in the sand, there we go. What's up, corporate tobes? Come on, Gunners. I like it. But when a group like Blueco draws the line in the sand, and you have somebody who's actually trying to win and not focused on, because a lot of the reports where he was upset about the fact that players were promised, and you called it player power, was promised such and such amount of times. Hey, I'm asking the same question for sure. Where can we go to see if Arsenal will sign me? No, but when you are telling the manager that Garnacho has to play this week because he hasn't hit his minutes for the month or whatever, and you do that over and over again, that's going to piss the manager off. It's going to piss anybody off, And I think that if we can see it, that's probably what happened with Tuchel. Pochettino probably got tired of it, and after that horrendous transfer window, right after winning trophies, Maresca is probably just like, man, This ain't, this isn't, and that's why he was talking to people at City, because he's starting to see the curtains on the wall, as Saeed would say, from the Big Six, and it's like now they've gone and hired, and I don't think they've learned their lesson, because they've given this dude a 6-year deal. They've given Rosenyor a 6-year deal, a complete no one. He's never won 3 games back to back to back. He actually beat Maresca in a game in the championship, Hull City versus Leicester, and Liam Delap scored the winner. So there's a little irony for you. But, I mean, Strasbourg, maybe once again it was beating Paris. Strasbourg beat Paris at home in Liga, in the league game recently, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Just like Chelsea beat Paris in the final, and so maybe they got blinded by that, but I mean, how does this guy say no? This is my point about the owners are just business people, and they're not necessarily thinking about the team or what all of this is going to do to the performances on the pitch, because they already hired Gary O'Neill at Strasbourg. Dude's been replaced. Like, he can't say no to the job.
Well, I think to add to your point, just a quick aside, because I think Pep is not absent from this, because we've made jokes about this. I am more sure. I feel more sure than not that unemployed pundit. Okay.
Hey man, I'll be subscribing. I'll be subscribing to your channel at the end
Throw
of the
the
show
likes
for sure.
up too, 2 thumbs, right? But
I'll be subscribing right back at the end.
For sure.
Thanks for being here.
We've asked the question jokingly, but I think it's tongue in cheek, because all jokes are based in reality, that Savinho probably has a clause in his contract that he has to play, because City fans are literally like, hey man, what is this? So if Pep Guardiola, who we know knows ball, keeps playing this guy with potential that never shows the potential in the game, I absolutely know that the managers are the managers are influenced by that, and these agents are super duper empowered. And so here's the thing about that 6-year contract that I thought about before, and then it made it stick when you just said the thing about what is it, Leipzig. Here's the thing. It's really this. I can give that manager a 6-year deal. For example, Maresca. Maresca still has to get paid out, I think, 4 more years or something like that. But they already know, and I'm not calling it collusion, but they already know the deal, that these guys want to manage. So they're going to get a job. And as soon as they get another job, that's canceled. And they don't have to pay them, because those are the clauses. So it's not 6 years, because it's not 6 years, right?
Right.
And so managers get fired all the time. And if you coach at a high profile place, so say this guy, he coaches at Chelsea, and he does whatever he needs to do. He's now high profile. He gets a win or 2 here, or maybe they're good, right? Say he makes it 2 seasons, and then they're like, we don't like it. They fire him. He still has 4 years left. He managed at Chelsea. He's getting another job. And because he's getting another job, they don't have to pay the rest of that money. It's only, and remember the jokes we've seen is when, for example, Jose is the best example. When Jose chose to sit out is when the other teams had to pay him. Because otherwise, we know Jose's always getting another job. And so we look at that. He
can get a job right now today.
Right. So it's about, those are not even real deals, because they know somebody, they're hiring people that they feel confident if we fire them, somebody else will hire them. Or they're hiring people that if they fire them, because the big clubs have sister clubs, that they'll just shift them over to one of those. So it's a way around it, where you can essentially balance your numbers, and you're not really worried the fact that I have to pay that. Like, it's like for example, if Liverpool got rid of Arne Slot, you think he's not getting the job? Because I'm saying he is.
He's Premier League champion. Of course he's getting the job.
Amarin at United, he just got fired. You think he's not getting a
fine.
job?
He's fine.
He's absolutely getting another job. So these teams know they don't have to pay the money anyways. So, okay, I might have to pay you for the year and I might have to eat that or whatever. But as soon as you get hired by someone else, two things happen. One, you get dropped off my books. And two, I get back in the news cycle because you got hired. So it's kind of the candy bar at the Walmart checkout. It's a loss leader. I don't think they're bothered
Fair
by
enough.
it. And so if I'm a sporting director, I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm a sporting director, I kind of would do that. And I would have these managers know, hey, I'm a big club, because you don't see small clubs do it. Only
Right.
big clubs do this.
Yeah.
And if you manage at a big
they
club,
have the prestige. Yeah.
right? Like Luis Enrique, he said, okay, I'm not going to resign, because you could see there. But that we saw that years ago that he wasn't like loving life there anyways. Won the Champions League. He is now, so
He did it. Yeah.
He's fine. He won there. He won at Barcelona. He's a made man. He can literally go anywhere he wants.
Oh yeah.
And so now you're looking at teams, because Enrique is literally on everyone's radar.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means in 27, when he's available, some big club is going to sign him. And so say Chelsea has the guy there, right? But Enrique's available and said, hey, I kind of like London. That guy's gone.
Axed immediately.
He's gone.
Yeah.
And guess what?
But that's
he's
the whole
going to get a
point.
job. But he's going to get another. That other guy is going to get a job because he managed Chelsea and he got replaced by Luis Enrique. So guess what the other teams will say? The lower league teams will say, hey, man, you managed Chelsea. You know the secrets. You only got replaced because it was Luis Enrique. Yeah, we think you can do it. And because you have access to the Chelsea system and the players. So now you can help us negotiate to get some of their throwaways.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that angle, but the issue is that I have with it. I don't think Luis Enrique, Carlo Ancelotti, or Pep, or these types of managers who are established winners are going to want to deal with some sporting director calling me up 10 minutes before I put the lineup in to say, hey man, you haven't played Garnacho in 3 weeks. I need him to get some playing time to make sure he gets the contract, the promises I made him and his agent in the contract. Or conversely, oh, don't play this guy this week. I know it's the most important game and we have to win it to make top 4 or whatever, but don't play him because he's going over his minutes and I don't want to have to play the bonus. Do you think Luis Enrique is going to be like, you got it, boss? Or he's going to be like, tell this guy you can go, go somewhere. And so knowing these big managers have seen Tuchel leave because of this reason, Pochettino leave because of this reason, Maresca leave because of this reason. You think Luis Enrique is going to go there knowing that that's the type of ownership that he's going to have to deal with?
My logic brain says I absolutely understand, but then my reality brain says Pep Guardiola only played Kusanov 13 games because if he played 14 games, they would have to pay a bonus, so they didn't do it. And this is Guardiola. And you got playing Savinho every week. So would Luis Enrique do it? He's a human, so I'm going to say yes. But at the same time, do I think he would want to do it long term? My answer is no. Long term, no. But if they paid him 15, 20 mil a year, pay for his house, I think he'd do it for 2 seasons.
Yeah. Okay.
Because here's the thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Here's the thing. He's not damaging his career at all, because if you watch those behaviors, well, in addition to that, but if you've watched these guys have these established careers, if they have a rough run at Chelsea, it's an easy asterisk on your resume that Chelsea did it. Jose Mourinho was hired and fired by Chelsea
twice,
and it's not a knock on him, right?
No, he's one of their best managers ever.
I mean, I don't think it matters. Like, do people even remember that Carlo Ancelotti was the manager at Everton?
I do.
I mean, I mean, we know, but like
And
that's
he
a
brought
blip,
James Rodriguez, speaking of.
right? It's a blip because
Yeah,
they weren't even good,
no.
and he was just there, and then somebody else hired him. I struggle. I agree with what you're saying, but I also think these guys are like, if it's a high profile guy and you're a team like Chelsea that brings in big money, say, hey man, I'm gonna give you a 6-year deal on paper. We're really only gonna pay you for 2 years because we know you'll be gone. And even if you win the Champions League, you're getting up there. Because like Enrique's not old, but I mean he's not gonna want to do it forever either. And so
Yeah,
would he take a sweet deal for a
yeah.
couple of years? And then because there's the other side of that is the headache of I have to run everything. Because that's a real thing. A lot of guys don't want to run everything.
Well, that's
And so
definitely. I mean, that's definitely the way we're moving. And that's what this conversation, was kind of born of, and
yeah,
we'll kind of shift subtly to the Manchester United angle because I feel like they have a similar approach, and a lot of people are kind of saying the same thing. And obviously, we're seeing the memes of people of Chelsea or United rather copying off of Chelsea and all this, copying off their homework and whatnot. And it makes me look at Ruben Amorim in particular because he's kind of in the same vein as Maresca, saying the same things about the people interfering, like Wilcox, etc., and Barada interfering in what he's trying to do. But I think that he got so stuck in his system, and they tried to make it work for his system, but in their particular instance, the managers have waited twice now, waited way too long to fire Ten Hag and now to fire Amorim. But for me, their bigger problem, yes, they have issues with, agreeing amongst each other about who should come in and etc. But the system itself, Amorim's system itself, for me, is just never ever going to work in the Premier League. So do you think the wingbacks, the 3-5-2, can ever be successful in the Premier League? Firstly, let's start from the bottom. Do you think a newly promoted side playing a wingback system is slated for survival?
how good? I mean, the little first question is how good are the wingbacks, right? And I don't think people really play. Well, there's not really players that play that, so I'm gonna say
Well,
no just off of
what about Inter Milan?
yeah, but I mean, do you think Inter Milan players would be successful in the Premier League? And I'm gonna
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
Nico
say
Barella and Bastoni, like those guys are good, man. DeMarco,
they
Frederico
are, but I
DeMarco,
I mean,
Denzel Dumfries. Yeah, I
uh,
think they'd have
that,
success in the Premier League.
but I and I'm not saying they're not good players, but what I'm saying is that then if you're playing that, what does your midfield look like? And so when you're constructing that team, like there's an exposure of okay, so how do you deal with the counter if your guys are pushing up like that? Are they actually good defenders, and or are they just and like are they Cancelo, right? Who's very good going forward, and back at Barcelona on a loan because
I
I don't
saw
know,
that.
but he's a very good player going
The
forward. He
38th lever.
right, he was he played in Serie A, and he did it well, but he wasn't a defender, and that gets exposed. So I mean, are your center backs fast? Are your center backs good on the ball? Like I mean, I think there's just so many questions. So my quick answer is no. I don't know if that you were saying no as well, but if that is the case, I agree no, especially on a promoted side. But I really think you have to have special players that play out there to do it. And like, I mean, I think for example, um, if James could stay healthy and Cucurella was there, I think those two guys could probably do that. I think they could do it. Now Chelsea don't have the center halves to play that, but if
They have the
if
midfielders. They do have the midfielders.
Right. Like if they had one of Arsenal center halves and a halfway decent one next to him, you know, they could work it. I think they could do it. But I mean, think about like I had to construct a team of probably the best players who play there to do it. Because then we haven't even talked about like the midfield. We're saying okay, they have the midfield, but there's enough inconsistency there that you don't know. And then if we look at the striker, right, that's not there for them. So I could Chelsea do it the way they're kind of. I could see Chelsea with a good manager could do that, but I mean that's a lot of moving parts. But the short answer is no. I don't think it would work because I don't think there's enough good players out there to do it. And players get hurt so much nowadays just because of the number of games and the physicality that I think it would be very hard, specifically on a newly promoted team. At Man United, no, they're not good anywhere. I mean, Bruno is good because respectfully, he's good. He's a very good player. You could probably put him in just about anybody's team. That's how good he is.
Sure.
But outside of that,
so you've actually touched on two different parts of how I wanted to approach this, and we'll come back to the middle of the table. And I was going to mention Crystal Palace, but we'll get to that in a second. As far as Man U is concerned, which is obviously why I chose to talk about this next, is their personnel, and this is a problem from the owners, and miscommunication with Amorim, and it goes back to my point that the owners aren't football people necessarily. You have necessarily, some of them are, but you have people influencing these decisions who are not necessarily football people, right? And so you have Bruno Fernandes, who has to play every game because he's the captain and their best player, but he's playing out of position every game.
Every single game.
You're putting him in a double pivot with Casemiro. And now it could work if you put another person that's like Casemiro next to Casemiro, but you haven't done. And then I just think that their personnel, with the way Amorim tried to do the wingbacks, because he didn't have wingbacks either. Dorgu is we're not even really sure what he is, and his best game happened when he played right forward. Dalot and Mazraoui are probably the closest players to wingbacks, but Dalot he's like, and I say that about Dalot is because he's okay going forward and he's okay defending. He's not like great at either of them. I would say Mazraoui is better defending than attacking, but because they're a mix, that's probably why they're the closest. But like Ahmad is not a wingback.
No.
And their right forward, left forward role is meant to try to make up for the fact that they don't have a center attacking midfielder. And in my opinion, in this league, if you don't play with a third midfielder and you try to have all kinds of moving parts with your wingbacks coming to five space and your higher players pinching in, it's a whole bunch of moving parts that's really difficult to cover the most important space on the pitch, especially in the Premier League, and so it's a dumpster fire at Manchester United. And I personally don't think that a club as big as Manchester United should be playing a wingback system. Just like I don't think a club as big as Real Madrid should be playing a wingback system like they're doing with Xabi Alonso. I think that's kind of crazy. But I'm from the days of Ronaldo, Bale. I'm actually, the first Madrid team I really remember was Beckham, Figo, R9, those guys, Guti, like that team, Sergio Ramos. That team is what I remember Real Madrid by, and those guys would never, ever do this wingback business. You know what I mean? And so I personally think for a team that should be as serious as Manchester United, you shouldn't be playing the 3-5-2. at all.
I,
Or
I
three
don't.
five, 3-3-4-1, whatever you want to call it, because like you say, in order to make it work, your second forward, not your farthest guy forward, but the next guy,
Yep.
has to be magnificent. He absolutely has to cover both channels. He's going to have to work back a little bit. He's going to have to be one of the leading guys in the press. He's going to have to do so much. So much. And I don't think that, me personally, I don't think that it's doable to win the title in the Premier League.
I don't even, if I'm being honest, I don't know if they're trying to win the title. Like they can't be.
No, I'm just in general. Manchester United, no, they should be trying to win the title. I don't think that they're ever going to do it. My point is, I don't think they or anyone will ever win the Premier League playing in a 3-back system. And I know people are going to come for me about Jose Mourinho and the 15 goals and all that stuff. That was 20 years ago. This league ain't the same. That was
The
20
style
years
is
ago.
very different. The style is so very different. But they also had, I mean, you have a striker that, had great hold up play and could bang in goals. I think that stuff matters, And then, I mean, the center halves they had were some of the best center halves in the history of the league. I mean, there's so many factors, but that's why I said, you really need like you at that time they had Ashley Cole, who probably is what considered the greatest left back or one of the greatest left backs ever to play the game. And
certainly in the Premier League.
So I agree. I don't understand. I mean, hey, you know what? I say that, but I also recognize there might be somebody that comes in and does it well. I don't know who, but the reason I say that, but the reason I say that is because the thing is that 10 years ago they said Pep Guardiola couldn't do what he did. They said, his style doesn't work here. And so I think it takes a guy to be stubborn and build his team, because Pep, I mean, remember, City wasn't great that first year. He had to build and get the guys. I mean, they obviously they finished top 4, but they weren't like what we knew Pep to be. They look, it was all out of sorts. Like City fans were like, what is this? And it made it easy to kind of go at him. And then that next year he punched everybody in the mouth. And you're like, oh, I guess he can, right? And he made waves. He sat guys that normally wouldn't sit, and he played guys that he wanted to play because they were his players. So if you get a manager in who knows the players they want, and that's why, like, that was the caveat to my argument, is that if you get your guys that can do your thing, maybe. But I think it's unlikely. Like, you need very special players to do it. So again, I agree, and I don't this is not really a debate thing, but it's just like, you're just gonna get.
It's just something that's been on my mind, to be honest with you. And the best example right now that we have is Crystal Palace, and they've had a lot of success. But again, the best teams have still been able to beat them. And like you say, when it doesn't fire, they get waxed. When Mateta wasn't able to dunk on you guys, you beat them 3-0. You know what I mean? And I think that Jeremy Pino has been very good in that second striker role for them, behind Mateta. But I think they've also had Palace's real issue, and this is an aside, is they just have a tiny squad.
Yes, they do.
And they all have to, every single one of them have to play
all the time.
They have like 14 players or something.
All the time. Well, City's supposed to take one of those players, so they might have 13 players.
Yeah, but it's and it's worked for them because, like you said, I think because of their specific personnel, Tyreek Mitchell might be the best example of a wingback in the league. Nathaniel Klein is still there at Palace as well. He doesn't play as much,
But when he plays, he does what he's supposed to do. He's productive. I mean, he's a good wide defending player. I
Yeah.
mean, he's not going to beat you for pace or anything like that, but he'll deliver a ball. He does well enough to attack, and I can see that.
But yeah, in the end, my main point I think is that like when Arsenal were playing that in the beginning of Arteta's reign, I was counting down the days till we were no longer doing that shit. Bukayo Saka playing left wing back. You know what I mean? But I think that because Glasner has been able to, make it work for a certain period, now they've been able to get the personnel to, give it some continuity. But yeah, I think if their players start getting plucked, like we took Eze, Bayern took Elise, and they've done well to, cope with losing superstars. But Guehi would be a big loss. Guehi would be a big loss for them for sure.
The funny thing is he's out of contract, and you already know he's going to another team. So I mean,
yeah,
it's get money now or get nothing later.
Absolutely. And as we know, segues are weird, but that is a good one. Are you going to sign Mark Guehi? Because there is 100% an injury crisis at Manchester City.
If you had asked me a week ago, I'd have told you no. I absolutely would have told you no a week ago. And then both starting center halves went down in the same game.
On the same play, almost.
Yeah. And so, I mean, obviously Kusanov is there, and so he knows the system, and that's fine. And I mean, they recalled a player from Watford, young player, and that's largely for depth. But Ake. I think I said this before. I think Ake was going to be out. I don't think they sell him, but if they do sell him, for sure, Guehi is coming in. It's just an apps. It won't even matter how much it is. And I know the running narratives are, well, City, have to buy so and so. I'm like, but players are injured. Like, would you prefer they just don't even address it? But that's not sexy, right? You're a team with money, and you're in for the title. Why? And your starting players are injured. Like one player is probably out for the season, and the other one's out for 6 weeks. Yeah. And it's January, the beginning of January.
Time of the year. Yeah,
it is the beginning of January. Like, what are we talking about? Of course, they're going to spend money.
Yeah, there's 8 games in those 6 weeks that Diaz is going to miss.
Like, what are we talking about? That's stupid. I mean, okay, your no ambition team can go do that, but right? I would guess City would go buy a player. Now, I mean, obviously, it looks like the Semenyo deal is over the line, and so I think, which is crazy because they said he's going to play the news is saying he's going to play the Tottenham game tomorrow, and then he's going to be a City player.
That's insane. That's
well, it got to be a clause in there because there's no way I sign a dude and then he goes to play for somebody. Because if he gets hurt, then that's damn. Why would I do that? There's no way.
Devastating. Yeah,
there's no
so
way.
Weird to me. So weird to me.
And here's the funny thing. And people are saying, well, City will buy their way out. They literally need a winger. Like the team literally needs a winger. So it's not like it's like, oh, we're just buying because we're spoiled. No, they need a player because Savinho's out. And I mean, as much as I bag on him,
how bad is that injury?
I think he's out for like a month, maybe more.
Damn, it seems so innocuous. It was not last game, but the one before that, yeah.
Yeah, and even the Gavardiol one, you didn't think he broke a bone in his leg based on what you saw, or the Diaz one, you didn't think he pulled a muscle but it's because it's the number of games they've played. I mean, we talked about it, but we haven't. They've played a ton of games. And so, so City need a winger because Bob is out. Like literally all our wingers are out.
Yeah.
Like our wingers are all gone.
Jesus. Yeah.
And so, it kind of is what it is. So if the team has money, go spend it. And people say, well, bring an academy guy. Well, the academy guys are not good enough. We're trying to win a title this year, and so, or at least trophies, right? We're trying to do something. And if we're talking about the boards, What board is going to just let that roll? Because I mean, there's a bunch of expiring contracts at City. Like there's a bunch of guys leaving in the summer. So
Really?
yeah, like Ake is out of contract, Stones is out of contract. There's
Yep.
bunches of guys that are gone.
Yeah.
Bernardo's out of contract. Like a bunch of and the other reason
But
that
you have been spending in the last year though.
yeah, but that's because they waited, right? But like for example, the other reason they probably go after Guehi is because he's homegrown. Stones is about to leave. You need another homegrown player. You go get him.
Yeah.
Because the guys that are on the team that they bought, the young guys, those are not homegrown guys. So you have to literally spend money on a guy that's English. You got to meet the quota. So I don't have a problem with that, and so anybody who's prognosticating that will, if they're being honest, they'll understand the purchase. In addition, they didn't go get the guy with like 3 years on his deal. He's about to be out of contract. So, that's probably the best time to do it. But
and he's a starter, like immediately a starter.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely walking in the team.
Walks into for sure.
In addition to that, I would say we've made the jokes about it before and in the past, like Pep has literally trained some of the best England players. Like his guys are starters there. Yeah. And so I think Tommy T will be very appreciative if Pep gets his hands on Guehi before the World Cup, because then are they saying it's coming home? You know what I mean?
They're always saying it's coming home,
but they might really, really say it if you got center backs that do that. But yes, I do think I wouldn't be surprised if they spent, I think, probably 40 or 50 for him. I wouldn't be shocked in it.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as Guehi is concerned, why wouldn't you move? I mean, I know you've had success at Palace and that's kind of been your platform, but
hey, they won FA Cup.
Yeah, I mean, this is your big move. This is your big contract, so you should definitely 100%
and realistically
make the move. Yeah.
At this age, is probably the last big one.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, this is probably the biggest contract you'll ever get in your career.
Go get it.
So go get it. Absolutely. Especially if you're looking at the situation there, you're not like maybe the next guy. You are the number one defender, center back, as soon as you come in.
Yeah.
So he ain't worried about playing time either. Yeah.
And the other starter is for sure not coming back anytime soon. So you got to run. Yeah. And we already know Pep doesn't change guys when they're on a good run. So you're locked in.
He can be in the team. He can be in the team until Gvardiol's healthy, at the very least.
And realistically, if I'm being strategic, because I would say Gvardiol probably doesn't play again until the World Cup.
If he's lucky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If he's lucky, he'll be at the World Cup. Yeah,
right. But I mean, if I'm him, I'm not looking to play club ball.
You're not playing this season.
Not for this season. I'm trying to play in the World Cup, and that's it.
Yeah, I hear that. Absolutely.
It's like Neymar.
Yeah, man. As an aside, that was incredible. That is incredible. That Neymar played 4 games with a effed up meniscus to keep his team from relegation. You got to give it hats off. That's amazing.
I'm not only am I gonna give hats off, I'm gonna say because we sports, I'm gonna give their opponents some respect too, because somebody could have went in and 2-footed him.
Yeah.
At any point in time, they
all knew he was hurt.
They played the honor code against him, because they could have. I mean, as many times as we seen him roll around on the ground, that guys could have. They could have went in on him.
But also, it is the Brazilian league, and he's a legend.
Yeah, and it doesn't. I'm sure there was some grease palms of like, play defense, but don't hurt him.
But don't
hurt him.
Absolutely.
So because I thought that, I'm like, so hold on, this guy got a tore up knee, and I'm getting cooked by this guy. Like I'm like, hold on, man, I'm there's no way he's cooking me, right? Yeah. So I'm saying that there was something in it for everybody.
I hear you, absolutely.
But still, he still had to do it, and I give him credit for that, because man, I couldn't even imagine.
I couldn't even imagine doing that either. But speaking of something in it for everybody, the Chelsea, the mighty Chelsea, with a 1-1 victory at the Etihad. A late show
Yeah.
from Enzo Fernandez after a double save from Donnie Ruru. What happened, man?
Well, I
Complacency
mean,
abounded. That was
well,
some
first City
complacency.
missed
Yeah.
tons of chances, but then that goal happens after your two starting center halves are gone.
Yeah.
So I mean, what can you do? I'm gonna give Chelsea the respect. They got the point. I mean, City should have closed the door. They did not close the door, and that's the consequence of that. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna hate on anybody, you know. I mean, because the funny thing is, like, City didn't look bad, but you could see the complacency start to set in, and that because there was like literally passes all over that just were not getting played. That were like, but like there was a couple where Shirky that there was no one near him and nobody passed him the ball, like
Right. I
outside of
remember that. I remember that one where he was absolutely fuming.
dude. There was no one near
And
him.
he like slammed the ground. Yeah, I remember that one. Because they definitely should
But
have played it too.
the play, I think it might have been Doku where everybody was like, "We miss Kevin." Where Holland was in the middle of the field. De Bruyne makes that pass. Like, and the
Mhm.
thing is, Doku made the pass. He just couldn't execute the pass. But De
Yeah,
Bruyne makes
exactly.
that pass. You play an early ball, and Holland finishes that. You know
Oh yeah.
that's the game set match, right? But you know, Chelsea stuck around. Lots of credit to them, and when they got their chance, they scored it, and respect to them. I'm not gonna hate on that, you know.
I definitely think that for me, it felt like, because I've started doing watch alongs, right? So I was like, I did this game as a watch along on the channel, and I was locked in, and it felt to me like at times Chelsea were against the ball, were all over the place. They didn't really know when to press, where to press. João Pedro is not he's not the guy to lead the line as far as organizing when to go, who to follow, when to back off, and Cole Palmer didn't look like he knew either, and neither did Esteval. There were a number of times where all three of them were looking around at each other like, what do we do? Where do we go? And I was shocked that Man City didn't pick up on that and just and annihilate them.
Like
Because
the lap didn't look like he knew what he was doing when he came on either. He would just. I mean,
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit
no, he wasn't.
because
Go ahead.
the lap had his best 15 minutes in a Chelsea shirt.
No,
And
he did, but I mean,
he
again, like,
definitely pegged y'all back a little bit because hey, go for it, Money Mitch. It's easier than you think. You just got to start doing it.
just push record, man.
Just push record, absolutely. But I feel like when Delap came on, for some reason, he was checking too and receiving the ball in behind your midfielders. And it was like, where was Bernardo? Where was Foden? Like, where were you? And
Well,
he got
Bernardo's old.
and he got 3 or 4 chances to turn around and run at the back line. And if Pedro Neto wasn't absolute hot dog water, they would have beat you. I definitely think they would have beat you if Pedro Neto. I mean, Esteval had a chance. I think they created some chances, but also conversely, I think if they score earlier, you guys up the levels as well.
Yes.
And so it changes the game a lot.
Yeah.
But I do think that Delap made a big difference.
He was different than what was there, but I mean, it's also, I mean, Ake was looking old, you know, and I mean, the thing is that Kusanov was great because I mean, he did a lot of recovery stuff, but outside of that, I mean, there was a disjointedness back there, and so, you know, again, I don't think he was like remarkable, but was he better than what was there before? Yeah, I'm gonna give him that. I'll give him that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think because you were lulled into a kind of lulled to sleep by how poor they were going forward, I thought they defended halfway decently. Yes, you guys definitely missed chances, but I thought Chelsea defended okay, as a whole. But I think that they kind of lulled y'all into a false sense of security, and you have been known like Leeds and at Leeds and what was the other one? Fulham, where you had the 5-1 and then shipped 3 goals.
Yeah.
you've kind of this season shown that you can be a little bit complacent, and I think that's definitely what happened in this one.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But I also think it was funny because like Rodri was fine, but then it's just like Foden has been off the levels a little bit. I think there was a couple of moments where people are like, "Hey man, why is Foden starting?" And then it's kind of a legitimate question, but it's because we don't have another winger. I mean, it's really the answer because a bunch of times Bernardo was out there on the right wing, and we're like, well, what is he supposed to do? Against that, like he's not beating anybody, right? And so it's an interesting thing, and so it kind of is what it is, right?
Yeah, Money Mitch is right with me because my next question was what about tomorrow? How you feeling?
I think they win, and now mind this, I haven't been on winning like, hey, whatever, they're gonna win. All the games, the form has been weird. I'm like, I don't know. This is the first game I'm like, I think they're gonna win, and here's why I think they're gonna win. It's because they recognize it's now or never. There's no more dropping points, and it's at home. That I don't think, and especially since in addition to that, if I'm not mistaken, the League Cup game or no, the FA Cup game is after this. So you're gonna play the kids after that. So hey, the starters, this is your last like real go before we go into like we're moving around because you have this one, then you have the FA Cup game against Exeter, and then I think
I was
the
just
League Cup
checking
is
who
after
it
that.
was.
And I think
it's yes.
So you're gonna get maybe a break in between that one. So you got to get this one. There's no playing around after that.
Who plays center back? Is it Ake or is it the dude you recalled from Watford?
It's for me. It's very likely it's Ake and Kuzinov will start. Nunez will be on your right. O'Reilly will be on the left. Yeah. And I think, and here's the thing, because I've been waiting for it, in the press conference kind of confirmed it, but didn't all the way. I think you're going to see Rodri and Nico play together in this next game.
I was going to ask if Nico was back.
Because Pep was like, hey, he's fine, which I think the last game was just to get him a rest. So, and the last game was the first time Rodri played 90. So what my expectation?
Rodri looked good.
He looked like Rodri.
Yeah.
Well, so what I think is going to happen is I think Rodri and Nico will start together, and then Rodri will go off at probably 60th, 70th minute or something like that, so he doesn't play a full 90 again. And then Bernardo will spell him. But I think Haaland will start. You'll see. I think Doku will also start this game. I think it'll be so. I think Foden comes off. I think it'll be Haaland, Doku, Shirky, and I think
Bernardo will be in the middle.
No, I think Reinders will start the game with Rodri and Nico. I think that's the starting lineup, and then the back line that I said. And then I expect that they'll play this one, and depending on how the scoring goes early, then I expect to see Bernardo to come on. I expect to see Foden to come on. It's
going to be a high-energy game, man. Brighton.
Oh, for sure.
Brighton press high and are, to a fault, committed to playing out from the back. So this could be. Brighton games are normally back and forth. I think both teams have scored in every Brighton game for like 30 something games running or something crazy like that, because of how high they press and how much, like, it's like a sin to hit it long. Like if Verbruggen hits it long, they fine him or something. I don't know what Probably. It is. They're so committed to playing out from the back, right? And so, with that in mind, do you think that changes anything about your predicted 11?
Nope. I think that's the 11. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I think they're going to try to start building the chemistry before the FA Cup game, because I think the guy that they brought in from Watford will start that game. Yeah. And I think Kuzinov will probably play again, or Ake will play with them, but probably Kuzinov, because Ake is kind of long in the tooth, so I don't see him starting again, and Kuzinov needs games. Because then Kuzinov, for sure, if Guehi doesn't come in, Kuzinov is playing against Newcastle. And so the yes, the center back crisis, they missed that. So yes, there is absolutely a crisis. But I'm gonna say this because I wasn't like the guy on Nunez. Nunez has absolutely been fantastic playing over there. I mean, compared to what we had, I mean, if we're looking at the old version of Kyle Walker, who was just whatever, Nunez has been good there, and I think he's been very productive because he can invert, and so he's able to do things. And this is the other reason why I think they'll play those Rodri, Nico, because the thing that'll happen is that Nunez gives them that capacity where one of those guys can go wherever they want to. But Nunez also can hug the line because he can play down the line.
It'll be Rodri. I was going to ask you about the dynamic. Rodri will be given the freedom because he's got the pass, he's got the range.
He does, but that's what he did in the last game, right? And that's what I'm saying.
Will hold. Nico will hold, yeah.
And so
that's what I think.
Matter of fact, now that I've said, I would almost, and I seldom even talk about betting. I would put money on the lineup that I put out there because I'm looking at the next couple of games. I think that's what the lineup will be.
Well, there is a group of people out there that love playing the pep roulette thing.
Oh, it's fun. I know because you never. Well, he's played the same lineup. I think 4 games in a row, or something like that. He's played the same lineup until but injuries caused the changes. Yeah. But I think the lineup that I said, I think that's probably the lineup because there's no other center halves. So the center halves are Ake and Kuznov. So that's not even a roulette thing.
Picks itself.
And there's no other left back. So that means O'Reilly's going to play over there and Nunez is going to play on the right. There's not even a guesswork there because Rodri played the 90. I think he will start so we can kind of get control of the game. But I think Nico plays with him because I think Pep wants to. I mean, the fans want to see it too, but I think Pep wants to see those two play together. I think Reinders starts, and because Bernardo's been playing a lot, and then the front three is the front three that I think Shirky, Holland, and Shirky. But then because it gives the freedom that Bernardo can come on, it gives the freedom that Foden can come on, and then you can kind of start spelling some of those guys for the next game. I think I think that's what it'll be.
Absolutely, man. I think that it's going to be a fun one. I'm going to be doing the watch along for Man City and Brighton tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. I may or may not have a little wager placed against Man City. It was a heart wager. It was a moment of weakness. I'm not sure that one's going to come through, but I'm hoping old Matoma. Come on, Danny Welbeck, rise. Come on, it's going to be another hate watch for sure. But yeah, and all of that in looking forward to the final game of the week, the match week, I should say. Liverpool coming to the Emirates Stadium. We owe them big time, if you ask me, because of Philip Coutinho.
Still mad at that?
I'm still mad at the 3-5-1s. They beat us 5-1 in the season in like 3 games back to back. And I'm not over that. I'm not over it. And so I want to absolutely smash them. It's another time where we're up against a team that are kind of at their low point as far as what they've been in recent years when they've come up against us. And we need to absolutely rip them to shreds. And like Money Mitch was saying here, I'm thinking this is probably what's going to happen again. We're going to see Gyökeres for 60 to 70 minutes, and then Jesus will come on. Or it might be Havertz. We have, Havertz has been on the bench the past couple of times. He might come in. We'll see. But I think that this game is going to be very important for Victor Gyökeres. He's been improving, but he's also under fire massively. I think that he was better against Villa, and then again, I thought he was better against Bournemouth. A lot less of the really poor touches that he was showing in a couple of the games beforehand. Definitely instrumental in the second goal against Bournemouth. I think Arsenal definitely showed some real winner's mentality in that game, especially from Big Gabriel to give away the goal, an absolute gift to Evan Nielsen, and then to come right back and make up for it right after that shows some real strong mentality. And what do you say about Declan Rice? What can you say?
Yeah, I mean,
Man?
he's been on fire, man.
This guy is an absolute
Talisman. He's your guy.
He's a monster, man. And when he was on the lineup for the Bournemouth game, I was like, I was mad. I legitimately was like upset. I'm like thinking, Arteta, you goon, what have you done? He was injured. He got filmed telling Morgan Rogers that his knee was blown up the size of a grapefruit, or whatever it was he said.
That's
and then
great.
4 days later, he puts in that performance versus Bournemouth.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, I hope he's good because we need him for Thursday for sure. We need that kind of a performance on Thursday, and
well, I mean, do you need that?
Incredible.
I mean, Liverpool is not great. Like, the funny thing is, I think, the heartbreak that Liverpool faced, because my God, that the way that game ended, just, I mean, as
Reed, man.
As a sports fan, you want to see it, right? But like as a football fan, if that happened to me, man, some getting broken, man. Like at least the remote control is getting broken.
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing about that, because I personally, I didn't realize how much of a fan Cody Gakpo must be of Richarlison. What a stirring tribute to score the winner and rip your shirt off like prime Richie lad just to get pegged back by the goal of the season. Bro, you brought that on yourself. You've seen Richarlison. Every time Richarlison scores the winner and rips his shirt off, he gets pegged back. Gakpo with an absolute stirring tribute to Richarlison. And then, but of course, look, I've been saying it in these watch-alongs I've been watching. You can't give space to anyone at the top of the box in this league. Even Harrison Reed, who will never score a goal like that ever again.
Bonkers goal.
Goal of the season with the last kick of the ball almost after your team's just been pegged back in the 95th minute. And not to mention, the first Liverpool goal was offsides, completely offsides. I don't know how they've gotten that one wrong. Liverpool, of course, but justice. For me, it's justice because Fulham were robbed a little bit on the offsides goal. But then to pull that out is just
insane.
Yeah, man. This was my reaction when I saw that. I was actually preparing for a watch along for the City watch along, and I was just like, I had to stop, and I was like, oh my God. I watched it like 17 times, man. I could watch that all day.
I mean, and the crazy part is, the keeper saw it. It is zero he could do.
Oh, Alisson's never getting there.
Zero. Like
That's not just any keeper. That's Alisson. He's still one of the best around.
I literally had to ask because I didn't watch the game because somebody told me about the result. And I'm like, hey, man, is Alisson back? Like, that was my first question because I did not do it. Man, anybody could have been out there. Prime Petr Cech. It does not matter. You're not saving it.
Let's also not forget, as long as we're bigging up Fulham players, flipping Harry Wilson.
Oof.
Absolutely in fuego, dude. That finish, dude, that was one of those where he's like, you know what? I'm probably offsides here, so I'm just going to rip this one.
Just hit it.
He's locked his ankle and absolutely smashed that into the goal, dude. Just smashed it, man. Harry Wilson's getting a move.
Yeah.
He's getting a move at the end of the season, bro. I don't know what his contract situation is, but dude is smashing it up, man. He's killing it. And he is. Dude, did you see the goal that they scored it was one of the goals versus Liverpool, dude, where they did like the They did it was like two passes, and then Harry Wilson passed it, and it was a give and go, and he's just dinked it with the outside of his left foot against it was against City. It wasn't against Liverpool. It was against you, where it was like the third goal or something. Man, that goal was absolutely
Yeah. I remember that. I
nasty,
don't
dude.
remember that.
This dude is amazing. Oh, he's definitely going to get a move.
Well, I mean, because I mean, lots of people are talking about, just his options. And the craziest part is not it's not insulting, but when I say it, I can see your reaction. This is the most Spurs buy ever. Like Spurs buys. I mean, it's a big move.
They need it too. They need him too. That would actually be a fantastic move for Spurs because Kudus is out, bro. That's like a month and a half injury Kudus has just suffered. And they sold Brennan Johnson, their like most famous goal they've ever scored in their entire club's history. They've sold Brennan Johnson. And so Kudus is down. Kulusevski obviously is not there. Madison obviously injured. They got no one. So buying Harry Wilson would be a huge pickup.
It's a very Spurs buy.
That'd be huge. I didn't even think about that. That'd actually be huge. But as far as the game on Thursday, I don't think I've ever been more confident playing Liverpool. Coming into a game against Liverpool.
Yeah. I think
Ekitike's out too.
Is he?
I think he's still out. Yeah.
I just don't know about Liverpool. Like they've been super inconsistent. So I don't know, man. This is one of those where and obviously they have a giant hole at center back. It's not Van Dijk either, So
yeah.
It's just sort of figuring that. But even though,
oh my god,
let's give credit. Like Wirtz has been playing a lot better, so I'm gonna give Wirtz some credit for being better than what he's been. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, dude, they're both a doubt. Florian Wirtz is an injury doubt as well.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah.
Both Wirtz and Ekitike, apparently, according to Sports Illustrated in an article from yesterday, that they're both a doubt. They might feature. He thinks they're both going to feature, but yeah, man, Arsenal should be smashing. We should be smashing them. And I honestly think that it's a great game for Gyökeres because if you look at some of the games that Liverpool have certainly struggled in, when the forward gets at Konate and runs at Konate, we can give him fits and starts. And Victor Gyökeres' like best attribute on the ball is when he is running at the defender in the channel. When he's grappling, if he can grapple with Konate and in the channel and kind of bully him, I think he's going to have a lot of success. I think we're going to definitely have a lot of success getting down the outsides. I expect Martinelli will be starting this game. Arteta loves to play Martinelli versus Liverpool for the pace in behind. It's going to be Connor Bradley, I imagine, on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
And I expect it to be Kirkez on the other side. Now, the question is, with all the injuries, are we going to see Frimpong at the right forward again? So it might be Wirtz, Ekitike, Frimpong, McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and then Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk. You're right. Gakpo will play up top.
Gakpo might play.
Gakpo will definitely play.
Gakpo has been
he'll definitely play
too. Yeah, he's been pretty decent.
No, he'll definitely be in the starting lineup for sure. But yeah, I just think with Gabriel back and Saliba playing well, Calafiori may even be back. We may actually have our strongest 11 available and fit. So it'll be interesting to see who plays left forward, and it'll be very interesting to see if Eze even plays at all. And I don't think it's necessarily an issue with Eze. I've heard some people say that Arteta is still punishing him for letting Matty Cash score in the Villa game, like 6 games ago or whatever that was. Which, I mean, if you're going to be a forward for Arsenal, you're going to be working back. If you're playing winger for Arsenal, you're going to be working back. Say what you want about Martinelli. He busts his ass in defense.
For sure.
But also conversely, when you're playing against the big teams, you want to get your best players on the field, right? So I think Trossard also is a shout to start. But it'll definitely be Gyökeres. It'll definitely be Saka, Zubamendi, Rice, and Odegaard, Timber, Saliba, Calafiori. I think another very important cog in this machine that we're quickly becoming is David Raya.
Yeah, he's been great this year.
He's been fantastic this season. Some of his distribution has been immaculate. The precision has been second almost to no one in the league. And I think that he's also come up with some.
But it's his shot stopping. Saves. I was going to say his shot stopping has been really good too.
Honestly, when we look back, especially if we win this league by 2 points or less.
Yeah, that was on. I think
save versus Brighton.
I think Tim Howard or somebody said it on NBC. They were like, "Hey, if Arsenal's able to pull through and it's a tight one, he's literally their player of the season."
That save versus Brighton could be like the moment of the season. Areola's save on Hudson-Odoi today was magnificent. It's up there, but Raya's save on Menta might be the save of the season. I thought we'd blown it. I 100% thought it was in. I couldn't believe he saved it. It was crazy. So yeah, I think Raya has been huge for us. I think he's definitely one of the best in the league, and he's been very good. But yeah, I expect if we bring the performance that we've been bringing, and I've also noticed something that there's a bit of a pattern emerging with Arsenal games. If you look at Villa, if you look at the last game we played, where against Bournemouth, where it was kind of the first half, it was kind of back and forth. Villa was also at us in the first half, but in the second half, we upped the levels. We made a couple of adjustments, and we were far better for the rest of the game. And I think that that's a pattern that's emerging. I think Arteta maybe has the handbrake on a little bit in the first half, but he's also studying the other team, the tactics of the other team. And so we've scored 12 goals of our 40 goals across all competitions in the 45th to 60th minute.
Really?
We've scored over 25% of our goals in the first 15 minutes of second halves. And I think that's because the coaching staff is studying the tactics and what the other teams are doing, right? And then not only are they making a tactical adjustment, but the energy levels increase. And that's been consistent, like 8 games running or something like that. We up the energy in the first 15 minutes of the second half every time. And the perfect example against Bournemouth, I knew the energy was coming, but I specifically looked for the tactical adjustment. And it was clear from the rip. Martin Odegaard was starting the press because he's the catalyst, the point of our press. He was starting the press 20 yards further up the field, and we were pressing high with a lot of energy, and we put it on them in that second half, just like we did against Villa. And we ended up causing 2 high turnovers and scoring 2 goals versus Bournemouth, and we ended up causing high turnovers and scoring 4 goals against Aston Villa in the second half. So the pattern's kind of there, and I think that we can definitely keep Liverpool at bay for the first half, and then figure out how they're trying to do whatever it is they're going to try to do against us. But honestly, I think Liverpool will be passive. I don't think that they're going to come out and be super gung-ho in our face because we'll rip them to shreds.
They don't have the team for that. Like they don't have the personnel.
So I expect to dominate the ball. I expect to have control. I need Rice is going to have to be big in transition. And I think another player whose tackling is underrated and thus his contribution has been underrated is Zubamendi. His transitional awareness and, positioning has been fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic. And I think it's a huge contributing factor into how we have defended against transitions a lot better than in recent seasons. And Arteta, I believe, has rightly identified this as our biggest weakness. And so sometimes the control is there to keep us from conceding quick counters. But I think if we can, again, win the second balls so that we can suffocate them and minimize said quick counter opportunities, we should smash them.
I mean, it's funny because Liverpool, they're what is it? I'm seeing they're five unbeaten, but I
Eight.
think they're what, like eight? Yeah,
They're 8 games unbeaten.
and it's weird because they haven't been like good, so,
Yeah.
so it's a bit weird, because I mean, I guess it is what it is. I struggle to see them winning, but like again, man, football at this point in the year is very difficult to predict. So,
Oh yeah.
but you
It's
guys are home,
definitely.
and that's at least worth one goal advantage right there. So, I would give you that. Because
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
man.
like, because you guys have been like, it's weird because you guys have been, people have been scoring against you, which is not like a ton, but they've been scoring and getting chances, and it's been weird for like a couple of games for you guys, but you've been finding a way to kind of
We've
gnaw through.
conceded in 4 straight games. Yeah.
Yeah, but you've been gnawing through, and I think you're making it work for you. And it's funny, I'm looking at the table, and you guys have conceded 14 goals, but what's crazy is that I've literally felt like City has been bad, and they've conceded 18, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like
It seems like it'd be more than that.
it's right behind you. Like I mean, you're 40 and 14, the City are 44 and 18, and I'm like, oh, it feels
Mm-hmm.
worse than that. I just think the goals feel rough, but it kind of is what it is. But I think I'm leaning towards, I think Arsenal probably will get it done, but again, there's a lot of games, so there's something to say for tired legs and the fact that guys are dropping like flies. But yeah, that's all I got.
Well,
I
having
got a
said that,
side thing, but I got another thing, but it's not this.
yeah. Having said that, Arsenal's squad has really handled our injuries
Yeah,
this
yeah.
season, and giving guys time. We just hit 200 subs. That's what's up. Shout out the community. We appreciate that, everybody. That's amazing. Road to 300. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
man.
That's what's up. But yeah, I think that at the end of the day, if we take our chances, and because the chances will be there, if we take our chances and win 75% of the second balls, we will win this game. Definitely.
Statistically, that makes sense. But a quick thing as I scroll through, because I'm reading news while so I didn't pay attention to the press conference, but apparently Pep has suggested that Nico can play center back. So I feel confident for sure that Nico and Rodri will be playing together. I didn't even know he said this. And
Yeah.
so
So
yes,
he's definitely in there now.
yeah. So that's why I don't know why I felt so confident on that one. But I'm like, yeah, I got a feeling they're gonna play together. It might not be the way I envisioned them playing together, but I think they might play together. Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's what's
Two
up.
thumbs.
That's
I
what's
got
up
two
for
thumbs,
sure.
one for each 100.
Um,
And I got a random side question because I thought
yeah,
about this as I was flipping through stuff. Did you see the situation with Osimhen at the African Cup of Nations? Have you seen about that?
I did not.
So here's
What's going on?
so the story is Nigeria won, I think, 3-0 in the game they played. Osimhen had a brace, and something was happening before the third goal, and I don't know the name of the other player. I have to look it up. But the other Osimhen got in like a heated argument on the field with his teammates, the guy who actually assisted him in his second goal, and then proceeded to like not play, and then requested a sub and got subbed out of the
What?
game that they won. And then the next day, because he was criticized for what he did, and rightfully so, because you don't quit on your team even if you're angry. His comments today, which would be the next day, he said, it's not that I personally have an issue with my teammate. I love him. And, it's just I was criticizing because they weren't putting the energy forth. And whenever Nigeria didn't make the World Cup, I got blamed for it. So because I'm going to get the blame and I'm the leader, I want to make sure that everyone is playing up to the standard. So that's why I did what I did on the field. And people are criticizing that because, okay, I get the sort of getting on your guys, but you requested to be subbed and then walked around the field while the game was being played. So you can't do that last part and then think people are not going to criticize that. And it's funny because, I mean, obviously they won the game and they're in, I think it's the quarters or the semis, but they advanced. And there's a rumor that he wants to leave the national team. And I'm like, that can't be all that happened for it to go that far and to ask to be subbed off. Like, and I mean, did he ask? This was like the 60th minute because he got subbed, I think, in the 64th or something like that. And that's bonkers because it begs the question. Because I thought about Osman because you guys where you were like, hey, we want him, and you think like the mentality of some guys. And again, I don't know what's going on. I don't have all the details, but just, looking at what it is, looking at the commentary, trying to find a balance. It's weird because you can kind of see where some of his issues with clubs may have come from based on that kind of behavior. And I thought it was really weird. When you get a chance, look it up. It's freaking crazy, man. And I'm like, because I watched it, I'm like, what? Because I was reading and I saw it. I'm like, yo, what is he doing? And like he like went in. He went in on his teammate. And like they're battering this team. Like I don't know who they were playing, but they were beating them. Like it wasn't even close. And he felt like the guys were lazy. And then he proceeded to then walk around and not be engaged in play. Like you can't call somebody lazy and then
I was gonna say that's
proceed
not how
to be
works.
lazy. Like you can't do that.
That's nuts.
Yeah, but look it up. Crazy. I thought it was very interesting.
No, I'll definitely look that up, man. I think maybe this is, I know everyone was saying that Osman didn't go to Chelsea because of wage demands or whatever, but maybe they knew something we didn't, and there's some kind of attitude thing going on here. I'll tell you one thing right now. Osman ain't, after this, he ain't ever coming to Arsenal. Arteta ain't playing that game.
Yeah, it's crazy because think about how many big teams were linked to him and how many big teams probably could use him, but none of them got him. None of them went in for him.
Nobody went in for him. He's at Galatasaray.
That has to say something.
Yeah.
Because he was beasting when he was playing in Serie A. Beasting.
Yeah, sure. He sure was.
Like no one questioned his talent.
Yeah.
But I thought that was an interesting thing. I didn't know if you saw it. I didn't send it to anybody in the chat. I happened to see it yesterday.
I'll definitely look it up. But speaking of AFCON, I saw a stat that said Mo Salah has 100 goals in 104 appearances for Egypt.
Wow.
Or maybe it was 100 GA goals and assists in 104 appearances for Egypt. And again, it was on X, so it has to be true. But
well, you can ask Grok; they'll tell you.
Yeah. But Salah in Egypt are through as well.
Yeah, he scored a goal in that match as well.
He scored the winners, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so stoppage time winner.
I mean, again, he's more than Hamas got. Hasn't he? I think Egypt won a continental trophy, didn't they? Didn't they win AFCON?
They won AFCON
last
time, or was it the time before?
I feel confident he won. He won. I think I remember him raising one. Now I have to look because so they won AFCON that's just 2010. 2010. They couldn't have been. Well, I mean, he might have been on the team in 2010. Would he have been on the team? No, that's 16 years ago. He wouldn't have won then.
That's a while back. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that's.
So it looks like the semis are set, or the quarterfinals rather are set for the AFCON. We got Mali playing Senegal, Cameroon playing Morocco. I actually haven't kept up with this too much. Algeria is playing Nigeria, And Egypt's playing Ivory Coast. That Egypt Ivory Coast game should be pretty good.
No, well, it's funny. I've caught a couple of them because they're on YouTube TV, but the games have been, I mean, they've been very interesting games. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, because I think this is the last one before they go to the 4-year cycle. But
Yeah.
they've been good, man. And like it looks like when is the 9th? Friday. So Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday are the games. I
Yeah,
might tune into that. I might tune into that Egypt Ivory Coast game.
I think it's gonna be something, man.
Cameroon Morocco should probably be pretty good as well on Friday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Algeria Nigeria game probably will be pretty good too.
Hey man, I might.
Yeah, like literally all the
Wow.
games. Now I don't know anything about Mali Senegal. I don't know if that's like a good game.
I mean, I was gonna say I might do some watch-alongs, but the Premier League it's right in the middle of Premier League stuff. So
But I think these games. Oh no, these games are in the morning. Yeah, so it is.
yeah, that's right in the middle of the Premier League games. So I probably won't be doing watch-alongs, but I might try to have it on the side because
Yeah,
you know how I like my multi-screens. I like
hey
watching
man,
7 screens at one time.
get your football in. You know.
Oh yeah, you know me. You know me. Well, I think we'll wrap it right there, man. It's been a good one for sure. We've done well. We've hit 200 subs. Let's go ahead and get the likes up as well for the 200 sub celebration. Subscribe, like I say, if you're new. Thanks for being here. Of course, hype it up if you got any of those left.
And people can comment after the fact. Go back and watch it and make some
Oh,
comments. I mean, I occasionally go in and read the comments. I often catch them now.
I read literally every comment that happens on this channel. I will read it. Trust
Well,
me.
then the people and the
And it will be responded to.
yes, the people and the subscribers and the new subscribers should absolutely comment on stuff and tell us where we're wrong. But also tell us where you support what we're saying and throw a few things in there, like the AFCON thing came up because that was there. I mean, throw some AFCON stuff in there, you know. We'll talk about it.
Absolutely, we'll talk about it, of course. And like I say, I've been doing watch-alongs, we've been doing shorts, definitely up in our game here in 2026. I'll be putting out a more in-depth preview of Arsenal Liverpool in the morning. And of course, we will be doing some watch-alongs for the Premier League tomorrow. And we'll be back next week with the regular scheduled programming. Of course, thanks again for being here. And we'll see us next.